Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. I'm Jason here in my bedroom in the great state of Kansas, and back again with my three friends Nick from Townsend 505, Bryer from Breyer's Music Showcase, and Scott from SoundLab Studios as we talk again about another year and our top 10 albums. This time, as you see in the hopefully you see, this won't surprise you, it's 1972. It's in the title. So yeah, we just covered 1971. I feel like just not that long ago, which is really cool that we're getting through these. Because I'm having a lot of fun talking about these albums. And yeah, 1972, another really solid year. Of course, it's hard to say. I know Scott will say there's not a bad year in the 70s, so uh, he probably say the same thing about 1972. I'm guessing. I would say not as good as 1971, but I said 1971 is probably my favorite year, so it's hard to beat that year. It is a really good year, I thought, for singer-songwriters. I have a lot of that on my list personally, so I'm interested to see what you guys have. I am going to almost last time we all had the same number one, the first time in the history of this channel. We had the same number one. I have a feeling we won't have the same number one on this one. I think this is definitely more of a personal choice. Like my number one is definitely more of a personal one that I've always I know I've always loved. Um, and I know there's one album on here that's not gonna be on my list. That's probably gonna be on everybody else's. I get the feeling just looking at the top 10 albums, selling albums in 1972.
I have a feeling that
Um,
it's the one with the stones that roll and the exile on the street.
Definitely will not be on my list. Um, but a certain glam rocker, I think, will be on the list, but won't be on my list. Because it's kind of the first glam rock, big glam rock album, maybe. I mean, not the first
Yeah,
one, but it's a major glam rock. As me and Bryer, we talked about this album actually quite a bit on my channel when we talked about glam rock um, and this individual. Um, it's funny looking at the best selling album was Simon and Garfunkel's Greatest Hits. I mean, a bit of a cheat, but okay, I'm on it. I would buy that album too. That's how good Simon Garfunkel are. They broke up in 1970, and then their Greatest Hits album comes out a couple years later, and it's a bestseller. And then album of the year was Concert for Bangladesh. Yeah, the concert that came out last year, headed by George Harrison and his friends. It's a weird to me. It's a weird album of the year. It's almost a cheat. It's like you're almost cheating. It's like, in fact, I've never really heard the concert for Bangladesh really, and I can't find it on Spotify. There's no album called Concert for Bangladesh. At least the last time I looked. So it's like it's a hard album to even find. Do you guys know anything about it?
I've seen clips of it.
I've
You seen
listened
clips of
to
it?
it. I've listened to it, but I don't. I mean, obviously, I don't own it since it's so rare.
Is it? I was wondering if you could even
I
get
see
this thing.
tons of concert for Bangladesh at my record store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
I've
don't know.
seen
It's
it at
weird.
the
It's a
record
live
store a few
album.
times.
Is it as good though as the? I don't know. Can I just get the stuff on the studio? Yeah, I don't know. Um,
I've never heard.
I mean,
yeah.
I've heard it either. I've heard the live stuff at Japan for my George Harrison box set I got, but that's about it. With the concert.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's a big concert. It's very famous. Obviously, I think it had Bob Dylan and Eric Clapton, and all this. Though I think Bob Dylan almost didn't make it, if I remember right, and he either him or maybe it was Eric Clapton that almost didn't make it, and I think he might have been on drugs. I can't remember, but there's some story there. Um, yeah, neither album is going to make it in my top 10 because they're both compilation albums or live albums. So didn't get on my list. So kind of a weird year for that. But anyways, lots of big bands debuting this year. Well, I think a couple of them will be on our list. Definitely some great albums here. Yeah, so I guess anybody has anything else to say, we'll get on with the top 10, I guess. All right.
Uh, yeah, nothing else.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right. Nick is starting us off.
Okay, since probably gonna do the usual 10 through 6. My number 10 is going
Yes.
to be Paul Simon's second album. Yes, I can say
Yeah.
second album because
Yeah,
he did release a studio album before
that's right.
Paul Simon Songbook, which, if I remember correctly, was on my top albums of '65.
I think so. Yeah.
So far, Paul Simon is 2 for 2 on his albums, technically. So 2 of his albums made the contention of top album of the year. Good for him. Um, I gotta say though, the first 2 songs are amazing. Mother and Child Reunion and
Mhm.
Duncan. That's like a really great like 1-2.
Great song.
I don't think the rest of the album lives up to those first 2 songs, but it's still a really nice
Yeah.
album. Everything put together, falls apart is good. Run the Body Down, I enjoy. Our Miss Day, I like. Me and Julio down by the school. Me and Julio down by the schoolyard. That's another great song. Peace Like a River, I really enjoy. Papa Hobo's good. Hobo's Blues is decent. Um, Paranoia Blues is decent. We closed it out pretty good with the Congratulations. But yeah, one of the big reasons why this made my top 10 is definitely that 1-2 punch. Those first 2 songs are just amazing. Paul Simon, singer songwriter stuff. Like after Bridge Over Troubled Water, you're like, how is he gonna start his solo career? Is it gonna be like grand and big like the last album, or what is he planning on doing? And it's interesting. He doesn't do what he did with the first album, where it's like all stripped back, just the acoustic guitar. It's still like acoustic, but it's not like as grand like Bridge Over Troubled Water. It's like it's more. It reminds me of like Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme. In my opinion, not as good as Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme.
No.
That's what this album kind of reminds me of. Not too big of a production, but not like small either. It's like a good mix in between. But yeah, really great album. Really underrated album too. Not many people that I know have really talked about this one. Coming in at number 9, we're gonna get to a heavy album now. So we go from soft to heavy. Machine Head by Deep Purple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to go with Deep Purple. It's Machine Head. This album is legendary. One of those albums you know when you think of like great classic heavy. I wouldn't say this like metal, like Sabbath, but like it's like a mix between. And I think this is like a really great hard rock album. Of course, you have Highway Star, the very iconic Highway Star. You can't go wrong with that one. Maybe I'm Leo. That's a good song. Pictures of Home, I like. Never Before. I'll say my least favorite songs are the 3 songs after Highway Star. Like side 1's pretty good, but side 2 is where it really kicks the can. Smoke on the Water. Oh my god, that's how you open up your second side. That is a fucking.
I think we've heard that one.
That's epic. In the history, but more epic. Really great song. Just when you thought, man, how could this album get even more epic? Then we get jumped into Lazy. Oh man, it's like the organ on that song is epic. Oh, such a good song. And of course, you end the album with Space Truckin'. I gotta say, kind of like the first 2 songs on the Paul Simon songbook, not the songbook, the Paul Simon self-titled album. This album's carried by the last 3 songs. The last 3 songs, that's what this album's all about for me, are those last 3 songs. I'll add in Highway Star too, but man, those last 3 really give it the hell yeah factor of the album, in my opinion. Coming in at number 8, we're gonna go into the blues now. So taking another 360 direction. We got Exile on Main Street by the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys probably. I am the Rolling Stones guy of this group, unsurprisingly at this point. But yeah, this album. I mean, I don't like this album as much as I did. I mean, there was a point where I hated this album. I mean, I have Bryer to thank for getting me into this album again, because I'm like, okay, Bryer really likes this album. Maybe I am supposed to be the Rolling Stone guy. I should give this album more listens, and it has definitely grown on me so much more over time. Rocks Off, Rip This Joint, Shake Your Hips. Those first 3 songs, like right away, just kick ass. Really great stuff. Casino Bogey, it's an okay song. It's okay. Tumbling Dice, though, great way to close out the first side of the record. Side two goes more into like a folky country direction. Sweet Virginia, they go straight up country on that one. Torn and Frayed, kind of like folky country ish, pretty good. Sweet Black Angel goes. I mean, I'm not a fan of it lyrically, but it's like a nice sounding song that I try to forget about the lyrics on that one. So that's me. Loving Cup, that's a great way to close out the first disc of the record. The second disc though, you jump right off with Happy, the Keith Richards song. That song's great. Then we get the best Weird Al Yankovic song that never was with Turd on the Run. If you know, you know. Then you get to, in my opinion, one of the best parts of the album, Ventilator Blues into I Just Want to See His Face. You can start off with heavy, like disgusting blues song going into like this gospel sounding song. It's one of those. Those two songs don't sound anywhere near each other, but they work so good together, like right one off the other. And then it closes out with Let It Loose on side three. Side four, it is my least favorite part of the album, but it's still kick ass. All Down the Line is pretty great. I believe it is the B side to Smile. Happy, sorry. Stop Breaking Down is okay. My biggest issue with this album is the last song. The last song should have been Shine a Light. That's like one of those last song type things, and they didn't do that. But as you see, they made the top 10 list, so it didn't affect it that badly. But yeah, such a great album. Definitely an album that needs to grow on you if you're getting into the Rolling Stones. If you like bluesy stuff, like I do, or if you just like that Rolling Stones sound, give it time. If you're like Jason, you don't like the Rolling Stones that much. If you're like more of a casual-ish,
If you're more of a casual fan, it's not a good album, I don't think.
don't go into the sound at all. But that's about it for number 8. Number 7, I'm going to go with Honky Chateau by Elton John. Kind of going back into the singer-songwriter aspect.
Yeah.
More singer-songwriter. One of his more singer-songwriter albums. Of course, you got Honky Cat. Love that song. So catchy. One of his more catchier songs. Mellow, pretty nice song. I know this was a little controversial when we reviewed it on Jacob's channel, but I think I'm going to kill myself. It's a bop. I know it's dark, but it's a bop. It's catchy. It's very disturbing, but it's catchy. Susie parentheses dramas. It's an okay song. Always been my least favorite on the album. Of course, you close out the first side with the Rocket Man. I think it's going to be a long, long time. Great song. Salvation, one of his most underrated songs. Slave, pretty nice. I mean, obviously, slavery isn't nice, but the song itself, music-wise, is pretty nice. Amy is a nice song. Mona Lisa, Mad Hatter's one of his most underrated classics in his discography. One of those songs you wouldn't hear on classic radio, but one of those songs, if you talk to an Elton John fan, he will know it if he listens to the albums. And it ends on my favorite song of the album, Hercules. Badass song about a cat. The cat ain't Hercules. Yeah, that's a great stuff. Closing in, barely missing my top 5 of contenders. Made it to my top 10, but not good enough to make it to the semifinals. That will be Music on My Mind by Stevie Wonder. Yes, Stevie Wonder. Yes, we're on a roll with Stevie Wonder stuff. Yeah. He released 2 albums of this year, one of which is this one. I won't go into the second one, but I'm sure you probably know which one it is if you are a big music fan like all of us here, to the viewers out there. What can I say about this album? It is awesome. I will say, in my opinion, of his 70s album, this is my least favorite of his 70s albums. Well, not counting Secret Life of Plants, that one's in its own realm of garbage. But going into his classic period from 72 to 76, this is my least favorite of his classic period album. Some people say this is his best album of the classic period because of how. One thing I gotta say about this album, it's definitely the most different of his classic period albums. Like Talking Book, Intervisions, Fulfilling First Finale, and Songs of the Key of Life. I feel like it's more of like I feel like each album has like a direction they're going into. This album is like Stevie Wonder, like, hey, I finally get my full on creative control. He doesn't really have a direction he's going with this album. It's just him having fun in the studio, like, hey, look, I could finally make the record I've always wanted to make, something that's not just 2-minute love songs that they were making me do. Even though towards the end of it, like For Once in My Life, My Share You More, and Signed Sealed Delivered, I thought they did a spectacular job. I think some of the love songs they gave him were really well. And heck, they even gave him some. They let him write a few songs, so it's not like all of his albums under the Motown, stuff was all bad. But yeah, this album is just so good. Love Having You Around, and Superwoman / Where Were You When I Needed You, which it's like one song, but it's two songs at the same time, if that makes any sense. It's crazy, mention being a Stevie Wonder fan and buying the album. The first 2 tracks on the album are 7+ minute songs. You're probably thinking, "Whoa, what is he planning on doing here?" That was probably unheard of at the time for a Motown record, like a Motown artist to do that, like 2 7+ minute songs. I mean, this album definitely sold the least best out of the few out of his classic period, which I get it, because imagine looking at the track list, you're like, wow, 7 minutes, the first 2 songs.
Yeah.
Like that probably turned some people off to like, wow, this is not the Stevie Wonder I grew up listening to. I could imagine someone saying that back in the day. But they're great songs. Like Love Having You Around. You start off right away, you can tell it's already. You're just like, this is not the normal Stevie Wonder that you grew up with. It's a very weird experimental song that I really like. And they got Superwoman / Where Were You When I Needed You. The first part, Superwoman, that's a nice song, but the part where I really like is when it gets into Where Were You When I Needed You. That part of the song is what makes a song the best song on the album. Really great stuff. I love Every Little Thing About You. That's a nice song. I found out a lot of people didn't like Sweet Little Girl. I think that's a pretty good song. I will agree it's my least favorite on the album, but it's still pretty good. Happier Than the Morning Sun is good. Girl Blue. This song is weird. You have this weird synthesizer thing going under his vocals, like this weird synth effect on his vocals. Something that you've never heard before, but it's so cool. My opinion. Seems So Long is good. Keep On Running is awesome, and Evil is a great way to close out the album. I mean, I gave you my opinion on the 1971 video that I do think the Where I'm Coming From album I think that should be considered to be the first album of his classic period, but going by what a lot of people officially call the classic period, I will say this is a good way to start off the classic period. Again, it is my least favorite of the classic period albums because, again, there's no real theme to this album like the other ones. That's what made the other album so good. There's he has an idea of what he's making beforehand. This album is I get to do whatever I want. And you just made the album, but enough of my spiel on Stevie Wonder. That's my number 6, Music of My Mind.
All right. I have a feeling Machine Head will come on another list at some point. And Hockey Show too, definitely will be on the list. But we'll go to Bryer for his 10th through 6.
Okay, so So comparing this year to the last year we covered, luckily I didn't have to hear as many albums this time.
I can't hear you, Bryer. Can people hear him?
I can hear him.
You
We're going
can.
through this.
Okay.
I can
Dang
hear
it.
him.
Going through this again.
Dang it. I can't hear him. What the heck? What do I do?
I have no clue, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Should I just continue?
Um,
Because I can't end it. It would end the whole thing, right?
Yeah, I don't want to have to redo all my do my maybe try to leave and come back.
Can I
yeah,
do
try
that?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like exit out?
Yeah, you can leave. I think.
Okay.
I hope so. Hope it works on iPhone.
Yeah. Just like drop out of the studio and come back.
We'll be right back after these technical issues.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. There we
Here
go.
he comes.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, there we go.
No, you're good. You're good.
I didn't want you to talk, and I'd be sitting there going, uh-huh.
I mean, you could just visually. I mean, I hope I show them anyway.
How are you? How good are you at reading lips?
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Any case, as I was saying, so luckily for this year, I didn't have to hear as many albums because the last year we did, I had like 74 albums I had to hear. Thankfully, I only had to listen to 64. So
64.
just 10 less. So a little bit easier. And then the next year is gonna go back to hard again. But any case, so so far, I think a couple of these have been brought up already. So I'm going to be kind of brief on some of them. And yeah, Jason was right about at least one of them so far. Number 10, going to be Hunky Chateau, Elton John. So again, and I think Nick kind of said it best, so I'm not going to go too in depth, like I said. But again, Elton's continuing on his classic run. You have some great like hits on here. You know, Funky Cats. It's like a nice little playful piano song. That one is, and then you have the big song, and of course my favorites is Rocket Man. Of course, that's always been one of my favorite Elton John songs,
Yes.
and some great lyrics to that one too. But the rest of the album, I think, is still really, really strong. You know, songs like "Mellow," I think, is a really nice follow-up song to "Hunky Cats." But of course, you have some very, I mean, on the surface, it's kind of concerning, but it's kind of playful. But yeah, I think I'm gonna kill myself. That's a fun title. But then Susie kind of isn't another really nice song. Salvation is also really good. But one of my favorite deep cuts on here is Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatters. I've always
Mhm.
loved that song.
Yeah.
Just the really good hidden deep cut on here, and it's just really great vocal delivery on that one and great imagery. Again, Bernie Taupin, just excellent lyricist. But again, just want to, again, that's kind of brief, but again, that's number 10, Hunky Chateau from Elton John. And now from here, now we're going to the heavy stuff again. And this is a band I brought up last year. And the band's Uriah Heep again.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, this is Demons and Wizards.
Demons and Wizards. That's a good title.
Yeah. And also I just really like the album artwork because it was done by Roger Dean, who is of course known for his work with Yes. Very fantasy
Oh yeah.
fantasy driven stuff. But yeah, this is their fourth studio album. And to most Uriah Heep fans, this is kind of the more like a nice entry album. Like if you want against Uriah Heep, most would say start with this because it does have some of
Okay.
their quote unquote biggest hits on here. Because you have songs like The Wizard, which is a very nice opening song. Starts out with an acoustic guitar, but then it gradually gets a little bit heavier as it progresses. Um, but then from that point on, then it gets more rocking stuff like Traveler in Time, just really great guitar work from Mick Box. Just really gets you moving. And then the other kind of big hit on this album is Easy Living, which is a very short, like 2.5 minute song, but it's a very fast paced, just doesn't slow down at any point. You're just going through it, and it's just a really fun song. So that's another really good one. But think about Uriah Heep, and I can't remember if I brought this up. Every once in a while, they'll showcase a little bit of a proggy edge to them, um, which they don't really do like too often. But every once in a while, they'll bring in a little bit of a prog sort of element to them. But songs like Poet's Justice kind of showcases that. Circle of Hands is another really nice song. And then another really good deep cut is Rainbow Demon. And that's a very like more slower pace, but it's a very heavy, very brooding sort of song. And again, just has a really good rhythm that you're just head bobbing to. Then you have All My Life, which is a good follow up song, another pretty short song. And then the album closes off with the kind of they're separate tracks, but they blend into each other. You have Paradise and then The Spell. So only 9 songs in total on this one. But again, if you really want to check out Uriah Heep, this is probably the one to start with. Because again, only 9 songs. None of the songs are too long. And again, you got a good blend of their more heavy stuff, but this also has a little bit of a more radio friendly sort of tone to it. So it's not
Okay.
not too out there. But yeah, it's a really nice album. They did release a second album, and that album came very close to being in this top 10. But this album at the last kind of not almost last minute kind of squeaked into there. But that's number 9. Demons and
I
Wizards.
didn't
Uriah Heep.
realize you're such a Uriah Heep fan. I guess I was
Oh yeah, I have a
that
good
band
chunk of the
totally
70s
missed me.
album.
I don't know much about that band, so.
Yeah, I have a
But you
good chunk of
mentioned
the
it.
70s stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, you mentioned it last time. Now this time, so
yeah. I'm not sure if they're gonna be brought up in the top 10 moving forward, but again, they have a really strong run.
okay.
Okay, next up, number 8, we have that glam rock Jason talked about,
Well,
and yeah, it's the big guy. It's Ziggy Stardust, David Bowie.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it is one of, if not the quintessential glam rock album of all time. This was Bowie's like true breakout album, um, and yeah, it's just a really rocking album. Like it's pretty much a concept album about the titular character, um,
Mhm.
and it's a pretty interesting story. Um, and the songs themselves really bring the story to life. I mean, 5 years, great opening song, setting the tone, and Bowie just really going at it towards the end. Then it goes into Soul Love, a more chill sort of song, but still really nice. But then you get the more rocking songs like Moon Age Daydream. You have Mick Ronson on guitar, and his guitar work is really top notch. Um, just really goes out when he really needs to. But then you have the big hits with Starman, and one of the
Yeah.
quintessential Bowie songs. Very catchy, good chorus to that one. That's a song it's nice to play every once in a while. It Ain't Easy, decent. It's a solid track. I believe that was yeah. I think it was the only cover on here, but it kind of fit the vibe, so it went with it. Um, and then you have Lady Stardust, nice piano on that one. That's a pretty good one. Star, fun song. Hang On to Yourself kind of goes back to the more rocking side. And then the other kind of big song on here is is Ziggy Stardust with that very iconic guitar intro from Mick Ronson. Really gets you hooked right away. And then you have Suffragette City, just another very fast-paced, good rock song on that. And then it closes off with Rock and Roll Suicide. Um, yeah, it's definitely a classic album. Definitely one of Bowie's best. That's gonna be number 8. And now, here we go. Back to the heavy, very heavy stuff. Now, Nick brought up this band, and they're gonna make 2 appearances on this list.
Oh,
And it's I'm only done this twice, where a live album makes the top 10.
Oh, live album.
We have Deep Purple, made in Japan.
Yeah.
Yep, when people think about live albums of the 70s, a lot of the time this album will be on there. Because it does showcase Deep Purple, you can say at their prime. You have the classic lineup there. They're touring Machine Head at this point. And I've heard some people make the argument that the live stuff on here sounds better than the record. Don't know if I go that far, but it is very good. Again, the playing is top notch. Again, Richie Blackmore's guitar work. Because the thing about Richie live is that he'll never play the same thing twice in a row. He'll always change it up, and it's the things you hear here is just that what Richie was playing that particular night. But I've known he's been known for going on these wild guitar adventures. A lot of them ending in destruction. But in that case, so the track listing depends on what version you have. I think in more recent editions of the album, they expanded it, so you have more of the actual concert. This CD is, I think, is a bit more faithful to the original. There's only 7 songs on here, and the songs on here, you have Highway Star, Child in Time, Smoke on the Water, The Mule, Strange Kind of Woman, Lazy, and then you have Space Truckin'. And I should have also mentioned Ian Gillan's vocals. He was screaming a ton on the studio albums, but he really screams on the live stuff. Like, he is like screaming nonstop for the most part. Like every 5 seconds, he has to belt out a big scream after a verse or something. But it's awesome, so I love it. And the thing that does bring the album down just slightly is that they're known for these very extended jams, and this definitely showcases that, because Space Truckin' is stretched to almost 20 minutes, and it's so there's that. And then the Mule.
So it's a long album?
It's a pretty long album. I think it was a double album originally.
I'd say it sounds like a double album.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
Double album with only 7 songs.
Yep.
Only 7 songs. Oh man.
And I'm also not crazy about the Mule because it's a drum solo. That's where Ian Pace gets to show off a bit. I'm kind of hit or miss with drum solos, because because if you're not seeing it, it's kind of fine. It's kind of fine, but drum solos are meant to be seen, not to be just heard. But besides that, I definitely would say it's a quintessential live album of the 70s, and yeah, like you said, the Purple will be back later on. Mark my words. And then that was yes. And then that was number 7. Now my number 6, and this is the other one Nick mentioned a bit ago. Yep, it's the Rolling Stones, Exile on Main Street. Again, I'm not going to go too in depth because Nick did pretty good. But yeah, it's a double album, and again, for the longest time, I was the only fan of this album in this group.
Yeah, you're the biggest fan, I thought.
Yeah, but at least good to know that's changed for the most part. But yeah, I still think it's definitely one of their best albums. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely at least a top 5 at the very least. Because it's, despite all the debauchery they were doing around this time, they were still able to make something that was pretty cohesive and sounds really good too. Like, I really enjoy the sound of Charlie Watts' drums on this. Like, his drum sound is really good. And then the rest of the band really do a great job, and it just has this really cool vibe to it. It's like a lot of this stuff they recorded dead into the night, and so it definitely feels that sort of kind of, they're close. They're just recording these songs when they can. And again, I heard the best analogy you can say about this album, that it definitely feels like you're in the room with them. Like, if you're like listening to this album at night and you're just by yourself and you just put this album on, you can kind of picture yourself in that studio as they were recording these, which is something I think really helps you appreciate the album a lot more. But yeah, 18 songs. There are a lot of great ones. There's some, you have songs like Tumbling Dice, which is probably the biggest hit on here, but other songs like Sweet Virginia, Rocks On, Let It Loose, Shine a Light, Happy, and many other songs. But it's a pretty remarkable Stones album, and definitely an essential one for this band, I would say. But that's number 6.
All right, 10-6 for me. Let me just pull up my list here. All right, number 10 for me. An album I haven't heard in a while, but I really need to have another listen to because it's pretty solid. It's Toulouse Street by the Doobie Brothers. It's the Doobies' second album. They released kind of a ho-hum debut album, and my internet's been acting a little weird. Let me know if I'm cutting out any. But their debut was just okay. Then they released this second album. This one is amazing. It has some of their most well-known songs, like "Listen to the Music" is the first song on the album. That song is awesome. "Rocking Down the Highway," "Jesus Is Just Alright with Me." Those are kind of the big songs on here. But there's lots of other good songs like "Disciple," "White Sun," "Toulouse Street," the title song. The Doobie Brothers kind of found their sound on this record and made a pretty good living going with this sound for the next couple albums before Michael McDonald joined them, and they completely changed their sound. Still good, it's just different. Number 9, I'm going to go with Jim Croce with "You Don't Mess Around with Jim." And I'm going to pull up the track listing on that one. We reviewed this album a long time ago.
Yeah.
This is the debut album by Jim Croce, or his big label debut. He released like a self-released like demo album before this, but this is his major label debut. Singer-songwriter, great voice, great songwriter. "Don't Mess Around with Jim's" an awesome song. "Tomorrow's Gonna Be a Brighter Day," I like that one. "New York's Not My Home" is a great ballad. I love that. "Harmtide," "Losing Man," "Photographs." Oh, "Photographs and Memories," man. That's such a great song. And the two big songs on here are "Operator" and "Time in a Bottle," classics. Operator's got great guitar playing on there, and "Time in a Bottle" is just a beautiful ballad. "Rapid Roy," "That Stock Car Boy," that's a fun song. Yeah, great singer-songwriter there from Jim Croce. Number 8, and I need to pull up the track listing for this one now. Number 8, I'm going to go with a debut album. And this is the debut album for the Eagles.
Okay.
This is the first iteration of the band whenever they were more country sounding, produced by Glenn Johns rather than later on when they had the more rock song. Joe Walsh has yet to join the band. Don Felder has yet to join the band.
Yeah.
So this is them early on before they had gotten those members. But Don Henley and Glenn Fry and Randy Meisner are still here. "Take It Easy" and "Witchy Woman" is an awesome 1-2 punch. I mean, "Take It Easy" is one of the best debut songs ever. You know exactly what you're getting into right there from the first song. And then "Witchy Woman" has kind of like a darker sound to it with an awesome guitar solo. "Most of Us Are Sad." It's a cool Randy Meisner song. I like that one. "Peaceful Easy Feeling," that's the other big hit on this album. That song is awesome. Yeah, really, really great first album from the Eagles there. Number 7, we're going to go with some progressive rock with one of my favorite drummers of all time. And you know it. It's right there behind Bryer. We're going with "Foxtrot" by Genesis. Really, first time you hear this, you're like, this is a weird album, but the more you listen to it, it's really cool. "Watcher of the Skies" has an awesome keyboard opening. Of course, Tony Banks is awesome. "Get 'Em Out by Friday," kind of a funny song about a landlord trying to evict his clients. "Timetable," it's an interesting song. And then the whole reason that this is pretty high up here on the list is the B-side. "Supper's Ready" is bonkers. Like you hear, oh, it's a 20-minute song, 23-minute song or something like that. You're like, what? And then again, the first time you hear that, you're like, I don't know if I like this. But if you listen to it more, you're just like, man, this is really cool. Especially the end, like the Apocalypse section where Tony Banks is like the organ solo and Phil Collins is doing all this cool stuff on the drums. That section's epic, and then it leads into the really awesome closing. Yeah, 7, Foxtrot, Genesis. Number 6, I'm going to go with an album that we've mentioned already. That is Honky Chateau by Elton John. I don't need to pull the track listing up for that one because we've talked about it enough that it's fresh in my mind. Rocket Man, that is an awesome song. Honky Cat, another awesome song. I love those ones. My favorite song on the album is Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatters. It's one of his most underrated songs. Great description of like first impressions of New York City that Bernie Taupin got whenever he finally got to go to America. Whenever he listened to the Tumbleweed Connection album, that was kind of their idea of America, and then Mona Lisa and Mrs. Mad Hatters is kind of like the actual realization of what America is actually like. So kind of showing that it's not quite as glamorous as they had imagined, but at the same time, like they want to see the good in everyone there. Um, and then you got some other great stuff. Mellow, that's a fun song with an electric violin solo. We have the song that we've already mentioned, the controversial one. Um, it's satire, so I don't take it too seriously. I think it's more supposed to be the fact that Elton John was trying to portray that a lot of teenagers were just depressed for no good reason, just to get attention. I think that's kind of what he was trying to say with that song, rather than actually, you know, talk about that. But we also got Amy is fun. So is Susie. That's a good song. Slave, Salvation. Those are great songs too. Cat Named Hercules. Awesome album closer. Yeah, this is a good early Elton record. That's number 6.
All right, good. I have a feeling I didn't know Foxtrot was this year, so I'm guessing that'll appear on other people's lists, but not on mine. uh, yeah, and then Jim Croce. I love it. All right, my number 10. Um, I'm sure I'm the only one that has this one, of course, but I'll say 10 through 7 are all like kind of new discoveries somewhat for me, and was not expecting to be on my list. But number 10, I went with Number One Record by Big Star. And I'm not super familiar with Big Star and their music. I've heard of them, and I've heard this is like their big album, and is one that usually if I see a list, this will be on it as far as like Big Star. Yeah, and it kind of surprised me when I was listening to it. I had to listen to it. I was like, oh, this seems like I've heard people like this album, and it doesn't have any huge hits on it. It's like I don't know that Big Star is that well known.
No,
Or
it's ironic because it's called Number One Record, and they weren't really a number one band.
no, like I wouldn't be able to name you a Big Star, before I listen to this album really. And it's just a solid rock album though. I was like really impressed by it. Like I listened and go, you know what? It's like the highs aren't as high as some other albums, but there's no real big lows either. It was like I was just enjoying like just about every song on here. 13 was my favorite song, but it was more slower ballad type song. But I thought My Life Is Right was really good. In the Street, the Ballad of El Gudo, something like that. Were all really solid songs on here. But like I said, it's hard to say that there's like one really great song on here. It's just all solid. It was one of those things where some other albums that didn't make my top 10 maybe had some better songs on it, but this made it in there because I was just like, I kind of just enjoyed it, everything. And I enjoyed the overall sound. So, yeah, so Big Star made it on my number 10 here. Number 9, another album I'm not that familiar with, but I enjoyed it enough to put it on here, and that is Pink Moon by Drake. And this is another guy who's kind of not a big star as far as I know, or had a lot of big hits. Yeah, it's necessarily had any big hits on it, or I mean, had like one maybe hit on it. The Pink Moon, the title song, I've heard before. It's like kind of might be the most well known song. And Drake, though, he's not someone you hear a lot about. I feel like, but I heard about him. I've heard about Drake. I've heard Pink Moon. This is definitely the album, his biggest album that I've heard people talk about. So of course I tried it out, and yeah, I made it in here because I just really liked his overall. He's kind of a singer songwriter, acoustic guitar player. I love that's my vibe. So it kind of fit what I like. And like I said, Pink Moon, great. I couldn't name you a lot else he done here. It's just one of those things where I kind of just enjoyed the overall sound of the album. So I put it here at number 9. And he
Yeah,
has a unique voice. I don't think I've
yeah.
heard anybody sound just like him.
Also, kind of a tragic tale, his story.
Yeah, I've heard I can't remember exactly what happens, but he didn't make very many
Yeah,
albums, I don't think, and then he died young.
yeah. He had depression, and it's widely accepted he probably killed himself.
Yeah. Okay, I kind of remember that now. he shoot himself? Maybe I can't remember.
No,
But
I think he overdosed on like
he
antidepressants or something like
overdose.
that.
Okay, now you said that, it kind of makes okay. Yeah, so it's one of those things where he kind of came and went, and I don't know that he made. But I mean, there's big fans. I think I don't know if he has kind of a cult following. You would say, but
He
because I've heard
does.
people
I think
talk about
so.
him here and
Yeah,
there,
I'd say so. Yeah.
but the mainstream music people probably don't know him because I didn't know him either until I kind of got into YouTube and started hearing other people talk about it. But overall, yeah, I enjoyed the overall sound of this album. Number 8 is "Baby I'ma Want You" by Bread. I really like Bread's overall sound. They're more of a soft rock band, have a lot of big hits. I love that they have great harmonies. The lead singer has a really great high voice, hits some really good high notes. Anyways, and so this has two big hits on it. Of course, "Baby I Want You" and "Everything I Own," two really great Brett songs. So those are two songs I really know coming in. But overall, again, the overall I can't say a lot about like the other songs on here, but I just remember just listening to the album, going, "Yeah, I really like the overall sound." And there's just a lot of solid songs on here, and I love soft rock slash kind of yacht rock kind of stuff. So yeah, they made it on there at number 8. Number 7, I don't know if this will be a big surprise to everybody. I never thought they would make my list,
I know
but
what's coming.
this band made my list. Black Sabbath is in my top 10. Would you believe that? With Volume 4. And I know
Snowblind.
Bryer, Bryer and Nick are probably happy to see that because they're the two big. I don't know about Scott if he's big on Black Sabbath, but I know Nick and Bryer talk about him quite a bit. And because at first I thought, oh, I don't think I like the style of music. That's kind of more heavy rock, whatever I'll call it. And then I got to Volume 4. That was like the one where I think I surprised everybody. And I was like, this is a really good album. Like I was not expecting that. It's of course Ozzy Osbourne during his run as lead singer. I like his voice a lot on here. Um, what really got me was Supernaut. Supernaut is one of the greatest rock songs I've ever heard. When I heard that on the album, I was like, holy cow. That guitar riff is so good when it hits you and it keeps going. And Ozzy's just got the great rock voice that goes with it. Like Supernaut, I never heard of this song before. Don't know that was a big hit for him. And I knew a lot of their big hits, probably like Iron Man and uh, what was it called? War Pigs or whatever. Um, I'm forgetting something. But anyways, I know some of that
Paranoid.
stuff, but Paranoid, yes, Paranoid. Yeah, those are like the big ones. I'm like, yeah. And then I got Supernaut. I'm like, this should be like a big hit if it's not.
It
And
wasn't a
maybe it
big
is. And
hit,
I just don't know it.
it wasn't a big hit, but it was definitely it's well liked among Sabbath fans.
I'm guessing Sabbath fans love it, yeah, because I
Yeah.
like it. And I'm not a Black Sabbath fan necessarily, but that song is great and changes. It's like they hit you with this ballad. Who knew? I didn't know Black Sabbath could do ballads. I thought they just did heavy rock stuff. But this is and Ozzy Osbourne does such a great job here. But and maybe this is for me because I'm not like the biggest heavy rock fan, but this is like my favorite. This might be my favorite Black Sabbath song, and it's probably not your typical Black Sabbath song, but I love it. Changes. It's a really nice, kind of sentimental song from Ozzy Osbourne. I don't know if he wrote it. I'm guessing he did. But,
No, he didn't.
oh, he didn't. Okay, so somebody wrote
Probably
it. That
Geezer. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
Geezer wrote the lyrics, but it was based on a Billboard's breakup.
okay. But yeah, I'm going something about going through changes. I don't know. It's like, man, it's a beautiful song. Uh, I don't have a lot else written, but those two songs are so good. That's what really put me over the moon on this album and got me at number 7 here on my list. All right, number 6. I do have this album on vinyl. That is the Kinks album. Everybody's in Showbiz. Yeah, this is not your typical Kinks album that people talk about. It's an underrated Kinks album. So this is definitely one that just personally, I just really like this album. And maybe I'm the odd person out. I don't know how many people like this album as much as I do. Ah, it's a great album in the Kinks discography. Um, it's past their big period, of course, and they made my list a lot lately with Lola recently. not that long ago. Made my top 10 as well. As also Arthur and Green Preservation Society. So it's after that really like big period. But man, I like this better than all those albums, which is kind of surprised a lot of people. But it's got two, I think, of their best songs. I absolutely, when I heard this album, I go, oh my gosh, these two songs are some of their best stuff, in my opinion. And that is Sitting in My Hotel and Celluloid Heroes. I absolutely love those two songs. And both are in my top 10 favorite Kinks songs. In fact, I think Celluloid Heroes was like number two on my list. I absolutely love that. If you haven't heard those two songs, those are two absolutely amazing Kinks songs. Sitting in My Hotel, he's just singing about being in a hotel, looking out the window, seeing the world go by, and he's just alone in his hotel. Ah, it's a beautiful song, so good. This Celluloid Heroes is about walking across the stars on the boulevard or whatever, and seeing all the names of all the stars, and he's singing about different actors and stuff like that that he sees on the star. What do you call that? The stars on the sidewalk, whatever. And I don't know. I just love the lyrics, love the overall melody of it, and yeah, it's just an amazing song. But yeah, those two great. But it's a very catchy album. It's got really good catchy songs like "You Don't Know My Name," "Supersonic Rocket Ship." They're super catchy songs on here. So this is a great album of ballads, catchy rock numbers, everything. It's interesting. It's actually a double album, but the second disc, whatever, is a live album. It's them just singing songs from the past, whatever, with the live versions of it. It's weird. I don't know why they made that a double part. I don't listen to the second part. I just listen to side one, whatever, the first disc, and I just count that as the album personally. So I may be cheating, but I really like this first side. It's my third favorite Kinks album. So, anyways, definitely one to check out if you don't know that album. So that's my number six. So now we're gonna go back to Nick to get part of our top five through two.
Yes, sir. All right. My number five is going to be an album by John Denver, Rocky Mountain High.
Yes.
So, yeah, I got to get another John Denver album here. Of course, it's definitely in the precipice of like at least in my top three favorite albums from him. It's really, 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 really good. Again, really nice singer songwriter album. You can't go wrong with these singer songwriter albums. You don't have to go too crazy with these. You just out with the acoustic guitar and just talk, singing about stuff. The first song on the album, of course, the title track. Beautiful song. Um, about Colorado, the Rocky Mountains of Colorado.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, I'm telling you right now, when I do go to Colorado, I got to play that song.
Play that song.
Yeah, that's the Colorado, in my opinion. That and maybe that's the Colorado song. Is that
Yes. Yes.
Rocky Mountain High? It's really good. Def, it's like definitely in like definitely in my top 25 favorite John Denver songs. Then you have Mother Nature's Son, another one of my absolute favorite songs from him. I don't know which one I prefer. I love the Beatle version. That one's great. It's This one has more production on it than the Beatle one. The Beatle one, it's like that one's like strictly acoustic guitar. There's a little something, but it's like very stripped back. John Denver does a lot with this song, and it's really, really good. Uh, I know Jason probably prefers the Beatle version. I
Yeah.
know. I remember Scott and Jacob preferring the
Yeah.
John Denver version.
They prefer
The
John Denver.
Beatles one is growing on me.
Okay.
I prefer both. I think they're both equally great. I don't really have a version. It's kind of like We Could Work It Out by Stevie Wonder when he covers the Beatles. I can't really give you a version. It's like they're both like great for completely different reasons. Like they're so different from each other. It's kind of hard to give a comparison. I mean, there are a couple Beatle covers where in my opinion, I will say better than the original. Like I Call Your Name by the Mamas and Papas. In my opinion, that one's better. That it's in my opinion, it's better than the original Beatle version. But like Mother Nature's Son, great, so good. Then you have Paradise, another really nice song for Baby Bobby. That's for Baby Bobby, great stuff. Darcy Farrow, I believe he did cover that on his.
Yeah,
It's a cover from his debut album.
it's a cover. Yeah,
I would say saying cover is kind of like I
yeah,
think cover is a little over exaggerated. It's a remake
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
it on his first album. I prefer the one on the debut, but this one's really good. And then the last one is Prisoners to close out side one. Side two opens up with Goodbye Again, really great song, and then you get the Season Suite. I remember when Jason recommended this album,
Yeah.
I was like, and I got to the Season Suite, I'm like, this has to be like one of the best discoveries I've ever had in any album. It's really good.
Yeah.
Um, First, it's summer. I really like summer. Fall though, that's pretty fun. I feel like each one describes the season pretty well. Summer, pretty good stuff, nice, breezy. Fall, fall is fun, with all the leaves turning and all of that. So I think he does a good job giving the vibe of. I don't know if he did that on purpose, like trying to match the vibe of the winter before
Right.
the season. But if he did do that, he did a great job. Winter does a great job encapsulating how winter is. Same with the late winter, early spring. It's an instrumental, pretty good. And then spring being the last song on the record. Really great way to go out. And again, the only person I got to thank is Jason for making me discover that.
Awesome.
I like John Denver before. I've heard Poems, Prayers, and Promises, but I'd say Cries, Whistles, and Nash and John Denver is what Jason really got me into.
Yep.
So thank you, Jason.
You guys got me into Black Sabbath a little bit, I guess.
Hey, so yeah, we evened it out. But all right. Coming in at number 4 is going to be Transformer by Lou Reed. If I'm the only one who has this on my list, I would not be surprised. I mean, maybe Bryer might have it on his list, but if it's not me, it's definitely not Jason. And
he might.
Well, I know it's not you or Scott.
Not me.
I'm confident in that because I knew you guys weren't into the Velvet Underground album. So, but this album is awesome. Here's the thing: I wasn't into the his sound, his kind of like a Bob Dylan, but like kind of like a nuance kind of taste, like I don't know, like 70s Bob Dylan almost. It's weird. His lyrics are interesting. I wasn't crazy about it at first, but sometime I really got into Velvet Underground, the debut album, and I really got into this album. So I'm glad I got into this because some really good stuff. I've heard his other albums. This is definitely the only album I really like from him, in my opinion. But maybe those albums will grow on me too. But right now, this is like
What, you don't like Metal Machine music?
Yeah, no. But Boy,
it's very comparable to a certain album with Living with Lions.
Yeah, but going to Transformer though, I think Transformer is such a great album. You start off with Vicious, kind of like it's like a hard rock sounding song, like you keep like the guitars and all that. I think that's pretty great. Definitely sets up the album off in a good mood for the album to start off with. Then you have Andy's Chest. The lyrics on that song are weird. That's a weird song. You have David Bowie doing backup vocals. Ba, 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 ba. You're supposed to be like about Andy Warhol. It's a weird song. I mean, I like it, but it's weird. Like I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend the song if you're not into like that weird stuff. Like if you thought Walk on the Wild Side is weird, this song takes it on a whole different level. It's freaking odd. Perfect Day. I'd say it's definitely for me, it's definitely the most normal sounding song on the album.
Yeah.
But that's not to discredit though. It's a really nice song. Definitely, it's one of my favorite songs on the album. It's such a perfect day. No, nice, lovely little ballad. Then you get Hanging Round, great stuff. Then you get definitely the most iconic song on the album, Walk on the Wild
Just go
Side.
walk on the wild side.
That's another song, pretty weird lyrics. I think it's like
Do, do,
she
do,
shake
do,
her
do, do,
legs. He was a she. It's a weird
do.
song, but I don't know though. It's a fun song.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say all the lyrics because it gets pretty dirty. Some of these lyrics.
Really?
I'm not gonna go too. Yeah, I'm not gonna go too in depth on it, but yeah, West Ham's great too. Makeup is awesome. Satellite of Love is amazing. Wagon Wheel is good. New York Telephone Conversation I like. I'm So Free is great, and Good Night Ladies. Pretty nice way to close out the album. But yeah, I can't get enough of this album. It's one of those albums where it's like, yeah, it's an album that grew on me, but yeah, it's really good. Coming in at number 3, Scott mentioned it, Foxtrot. Yes,
Foxtrot. Yep.
yeah. This made my top. This made my top 3. Yeah, made my top 3. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's still my favorite Genesis album. It wasn't, but now it's my favorite Genesis album. I wanted to like give it to Phil Collins with Then There Were Three, but I gotta give it to forgetting his name right now.
Peter
Gabriel. I gotta give it to Peter Gabriel with Foxtrot. It's his best album in my opinion. Of course, Watcher of the Skies. That's awesome. Definitely one of his iconic song. One of the more iconic songs of the Peter Gabriel era, proggy stuff. Really great. Of course, Supper's Ready. I can't get enough of Supper's Ready. Love Supper's Ready. I know it's a little stupid, with the flower part. It's stupid, but I can't get enough of it. It's a kind of stupid that I really love it. Yeah, I can't help myself. I love that song. Then of course another song that I really like, "Get 'Em Out by Friday." Oh, I love "Get 'Em Out by Friday." That's another song I've always really enjoyed. Timetable. Yeah, it's such a great prog album. That definitely it's so high quality. If you're into prog music, this is the album to check out.
And
Okay.
whenever you like, I'm a huge fan of Phil Collins, but when you originally said "And Then There Were Three" was your favorite Genesis album, I was like, inside, like, sure about that? When we reviewed it recently, I was like, other than "Follow You, Follow Me," this album kind of sucks.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it sucks, but it's definitely went down on my listens.
Okay.
But coming in at number 2, barely squeaking off.
Second place.
They did not.
Silver
They're not
medal.
champions of 1972. Volume 4 by Black
Hey,
Sabbath.
there you go. Volume 4.
Yes, they were contenders. They made it all the way to number 2, but they couldn't get the job done. There's one album I do think is better. Volume 4 is like my third favorite Black Sabbath album. It's easily the best of the Phil.
Phil Collins.
When did Phil Collins play with Black Sabbath?
I want to hear Phil Collins do it
I mean-
now.
It's
I
my
think Phil
favorite.
Collins has played drums to Ozzy and Tony one time.
It's my favorite of the Ozzy's.
I want to see Phil Collins get up and go,
Yes.
"General's running to his master."
All seriousness though, this is my favorite of the Ozzy Osbourne stuff.
Ozzy, period. Yeah. It's good.
A lot of people will give it to Paranoid, maybe the debut or Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. This is my favorite. It's the Cocaine album. Yeah, a lot of coke was used in the making of this album. Wheels of Confusion, great epic 8-minute song. Keeps my attention all the way through. Tomorrow's Dream, really great hard rock song. Changes, beautiful ballad. I mean, I remember Bryer was like, I don't know if you're gonna like this one, Nick. I'm like, I love this song. This song is awesome because there's gonna be a lot of people who are like, oh, they're doing a ballad. This
Are they
sucks.
selling out?
It's selling out. So
Versatility. They're not a one-trick pony.
I like it. Yeah, I liked it.
that's the thing, they're not a one trick pony, So I wish they would have did more. I mean, they did kind of do a little more ballads, but not to this extent though. I don't think they do as much ballads as they like. This is like the biggest like of the ballads. Like they do a couple slower songs, but like nothing like to this extent. But yeah, really, really, really good. Really good song. I mean, yes, there's FX. That's the one thing that's holding this album back from being
Yeah,
number.
yeah,
Kind of like with the box with John Denver. This
Mhm.
album is nearly perfect.
yeah.
This again, it bothers me. Why do you do this? You have a great album on your hand, and then you add this.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
You are right. It is a hell of a drug.
Isn't
Yeah,
it
you
just Ozzy Osbourne getting high off his gourd? He had a cross necklace on. It's like, I wonder what it would
was
sound like
Tony.
if
It
I
was
threw
Tony.
this at
It's Tony.
Tony's guitar.
Tony Iommi. Yeah, Tony, I'm very disappointed in you. Yeah, almost 2 minutes of them just doing boing.
Boy.
Just throwing
Terrible.
random shit at the guitar, see what sounds it gets.
Yeah.
But then after going through the worst song on the album,
Hmm.
you get to the best song on the album with Super Not.
Super not.
Yeah, you have arguably the two best songs like sandwiched in between the worst song on the album with FX. Terrible. But yeah, I love Super Not. Such an epic hard rock song, great heavy metal song. The drum solo, that I love the drum solo on that. It keeps my attention very, very well. Such an epic song. Then you get to side 2 with Snowblind, the song that is clearly about cocaine. They even
Yes.
name the drug on the song. They're not trying to hide anything. They're trying to make it very obvious what they're singing about. And you got Cornucopia, pretty great stuff. Lagunia's Sunrise, that's good. Good instrumental. St. Vitus Dance, that's a great metal song. And then Under the Sun, awesome album closer. You can't go wrong with this album. Even Jason likes it. If a guy
I
like
know.
Jason doesn't
I like
it
it.
to get into it, this is your sign to check this album out. Whoever's watching,
Yes.
So check this album out, please. This is a really good album. Yeah, that will be my 5 through 2.
All right. Good stuff. Go to Bryer for his 5 through 2.
Okay, so my 5 and 4, they tend to flip flop every once in a while, and they were constantly doing that. But I'm gonna stick to what I have now. Number 5, we're gonna go with Machine Head by Deep Purple.
Ah, she did. I knew it was going to be talked about.
I said they'd be back. But yeah, this is of course, there's the studio album they released the same year, and it is most people. This is probably the most well known of this lineup of the band. Probably a good intro if you're gonna get into Deep Purple. You probably would start with this one because it has some of the big songs like Highway Star, Smoke on the Water. It has those two songs going for it, but the rest of the album, it's very good. Again, still very heavy, but again, but still not too heavy. It still has an accessibility to it that I think works really well. Songs like Maybe I'm a Leo, kind of more of a bluesier hard rock number, which I think is pretty good. And then my favorite deep cut is Pictures of Home. Love the vibe of that one. Great guitar work, and even Roger Glover gets a little bass solo on that, which is a nice little moment there. Never Before, another one more catchier songs, which I think is pretty good. Lazy, that's when they're really showing the blues side of them, and really great, good harmonica solo from Ian Gillan, and again some nice guitar work and organ playing on that. And then Space Truck, and just a nice heavy song to close out the album. It's only 7 songs, but it's still, I think it just feels like a complete album there. But yeah, we already mentioned this before, so I won't go too much else in depth in it. But yeah, it's definitely definitely one of their big albums for a reason. So number 5 is Machine Head by Deep Purple.
I was
And
predicting
then
that to be number one for you, so I was off on that one.
okay, but number four, and I'm very now that I think about it, I didn't plan this, but it actually worked out. Number 4, Volume 4.
All right.
Yeah, I've said this before on I think on Nick's channel. This is of all of the Ozzy era. This is my favorite. Um, yeah, and it's definitely very heavy. I mean, it's probably the heaviest album I have in my list. I would say, um, but it's Ozzy as great as great vocally. Great guitar work from Tony. Starts out with Wheels of Confusion. It's like the longest song on here, but probably the most bluesy sounding song. But I just love again the tone on Tony's guitar, just very low, but still has a very heavy nature to it, which I really enjoy. Which goes into Tomorrow's Dreams, a very nice follow up song. And yeah, you get changes. I've always loved changes. Again, I'm a sucker for ballads, if you didn't know. Um, yeah, I've always loved that one. Great piano playing and great mellotron to kind of simulate the
Mhm.
string arrangements on that. Really adds to the vibe, and that song does hit even more now, given we lost Ozzy a
Yeah.
year, almost going to a year ago now.
Yeah.
Um, but absolutely lovely song, and then FX. Moving on, Supernaut though, uh, definitely another one of the big highlights on here. The guitar riff is just so ferocious on it, and which goes great with Snowblind. Like those two songs are great companion songs. Like they have a similar vibe, but they're still distinct. They're just a nice one-two punch on the album. But then the rest, you have Cornucopia, which is really good. Nice, pleasant instrumental with Laguna Sunrise. Has a nice, calm nature to it. Saint Vitus Dance, pretty catchy song, especially that guitar riff. Um, and then you close out with probably my favorite deep cut on here, and that is Under the Sun. Just a great song to end the album with. And again, it's a very not many people talk about that one, but I love again a great guitar riff yet again, and just a very nice headbanger right there. But yeah, Volume 4, Black Sabbath, one of my favorite Sabbath albums in the top 3 in terms of Sabbath. And you had to be on here. So that's number 4. And then number 3, now we get the prog stuff. Genesis, Foxtrots.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, it's my favorite Genesis album, still is, hasn't changed. And it's one of the albums that really got me into the progressive rock. Um, and only 6 tracks in total, but again, the playing is just so great. I mean, great keyboard playing from Tony Banks, and then great drumming from Phil Collins, and guitar work from Steve Hackett, and vocally from Peter Gabriel. Some of my favorite moments from him vocally is on this album, and of course, give love to Mike Rutherford too on bass and other various stuff. Watch of the Sky, just that great big Mellotron intro, just sounds gorgeous, just really setting the tone. And then you get into the main song, and the main song is really fun. Timetable, probably the closest ballad on here. It's very piano driven, but I really love Peter's vocals on that. Always been a highlight for me. Then you get to the strange stuff like Get 'Em Out by Friday, but still very cool. I've always been a fan of that track, as well as Can Utility and the Coastliners. That's kind of a nice song in the middle of the album. Horizons, it's an instrumental, but it's just a way for Steve Hackett to show off his acoustic guitar playing, which is very pretty and does blend nicely into the epic on here. That is Supper's Ready, definitely the quintessential prog rock 20-minute epic. Like if you were talking about the great 20-minute songs of progressive rock, of course this song has to be on there. And yeah, there's so many different sections, so many twists and turns, but you're just in it for the ride. No matter how strange it gets, you're just kind of always wondering, where are they gonna take me this time? And then it just ends off on one of the most beautiful notes, especially Peter's vocals just really belting it out. out towards the end, and Steve Hackett's just wailing on the guitar. But it's yeah, I love this album. Again, one of the albums that got me into progressive rock, and will still probably remain my favorite Genesis album. It's so good. I have it like I
You have
have
it
that.
twice?
I have it 3 times.
3 times.
Yes.
He has the outfit from the front and did a review in the outfit.
Yeah, I even have the Fox head too.
You even have the Fox
Yeah.
head, that's right.
Yes, still up there. But in any case, but yeah, that's number 3. Number 2. Number 2 is gonna go to, and this is an album that Nick brought up a bit ago. Transformer.
Yeah, I knew
By
that
Lou
was
Reed.
coming up. Yeah.
I'm definitely the biggest Lou Reed fan on here, on this
Yeah.
panel here. You know, I mean, I get it. I mean, he's kind of a very acquired taste, especially in terms of his vocals. Probably he is very deadpan, like more so than Bob Dylan. But but that's kind of what I like about him. He's one of those people that, yeah, he probably knows he's not that good of a singer, but he doesn't care. But what I get is that he's not afraid to tell it to you straight. Like there's no BS whenever he sings about. Like what he sings about is based on stuff he sees, and he's not afraid to tell you all the ugly stuff, which I respect personally. But this is kind of his most commercial friendly album. I mean, it did pretty big numbers, produced by David Bowie and Mick Ronson, and of course David and Mick both play on the album to an extent. His first album didn't do well at all, but again, it was thanks to David Bowie and Mick that helped give him that boost that he needed. And it still is probably his most well-known album. Songs you have Vicious, again, very good rocking song to kind of get you going. He's going into more glam rock. Like this is like the first album where he's kind of really tapping into the glam rock scene. But Vicious, great opening song. Andy's Chest. I mean, yeah, it's kind of a bizarre song, but I've always loved that one. Of course, it was based. Like the idea of the song came about after Andy Warhol got shot, so he kind of like wrote the song kind of based around that. And then Perfect Day. Perfect Day. That is my favorite Lou Reed song. It is one of the most beautiful songs I ever heard, and surprisingly. Again, I mentioned Lou Reed's not that great of a singer, but he surprisingly pulls this song off extremely well. Like again, I get the full emotion coming from him. It's very melancholic, but the piano playing is just great, and just the string arrangement is just wonderful. So yeah, it's always been one of my favorite songs from him. But then the album picks back up with Hanging Round, with another good rocker, and then you have the big hit, which pretty much shocked everybody, including Lou Reed himself, just how big of a hit that got, given the lyric contents of it. Which the lyrics are basically based around people he kind of knew from Andy Warhol's factory, just people he saw in passing, and people he didn't even know. He just based it on like what word of mouth. But again, you have that very simple, very memorable bass line, which took 2 basses to do. You have an acoustic bass and an electric bass kind of overlapping each other. And again, it's just a very chill song, even though, again, lyrically, it's anything but chill. But again, it's just singing about the underground of society, stuff that people don't really talk about. But Lou Reed's just like, hey, I see this. This is what I see. Then moving on, we have Makeup. Again, another great song. Satellite of Love. That's the one with David Bowie providing backing vocals, which is very nice. Very good stuff on that. Wagging Wheels is pretty good. New York Telephone Conversation, one of the more quirkier songs on this one, but I like the quirk of it. I'm So Free, another good rock song. And then it closes off with this kind of more vaudeville, burlesque number, Good Night Ladies, which comes completely left field, but I love it. But yeah, I've always been a Lou Reed fan. Again, I respect him as a songwriter, and I've always kind of gravitated towards how he sees the world. But yeah, that's number 2, Transformer.
Bowie helped
which was
produce.
produced by Ziggy Stardust, I believe.
Yeah, that's how you said.
Wow, that's a big year for Bowie. Didn't he produce
Yeah.
like an Iggy Pop album too? And did Ziggy
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Stardust?
and also wrote a song for Mata Hoople, which gave them their
Yeah,
big
Monte
hit.
Hoople. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. This is like one of his big years, and he's just getting started.
Oh
All
yeah,
right,
all roads lead to David Bowie for glam rock.
yeah, kind of the spearhead for that. We're on number 5. My number
Number
5,
5.
probably the only one who has this. I can guarantee I'm the only one who has this on my list, unless it's Breyer's number 1, which we'll find out. But this is Close to the Edge by Yes.
Oh, okay.
I have this higher than Genesis. As a whole, I like Genesis better, but for just an album, I like this Yes album better because it's objectively their best album, even though Relayer is my personal favorite. Yeah, it's long. There's only 3 songs on it, but if you're adventurous and want to hear basically the rock equivalent of a symphony, this is what you need to listen to. That this really is just like a rock symphony. It starts out with just like nature sounds, like birds chirping and water flowing and stuff, and then all of a sudden, Chris Squire just comes through with his bass, and he just starts doing this crazy thing on his bass, and you're like, what is going on here? And then Steve Howe starts soloing over it, and it's just like madness, and then the madness just dissolves into order all of a sudden, and then the song comes in. There's like a theme that you hear all throughout the song that's really cool, and then it kind of just goes all over the place, and then like it just gets into a cappella with just them singing, "I get up, I get down," and then you get the church organ. When the church organ comes in, it's just like you're like, oh, this is cool. The song has to be experienced. I can only say so much about it. My words aren't going to do it justice. It has to be experienced. And You and I is the second song, and that song it's like a acoustic ballad. I love that one. And then Siberian Khatru is just this awesome rock song to close out the album with a cool guitar and bass thing. Yeah, that's going to be my number 5. Number 4, this is an album that Nick had mentioned earlier, and that Nick and I both used to not like, and now we do, thanks to Bryer. This is Exile on Main Street by the Rolling Stones. I'm going to pull up the track listing so I can talk about all the songs here. This is the Rolling Stones' probably most diverse album. There's everything in the kitchen sink on this album here, throwing it all at the wall. The production on this album is so bad it's good. Like, it's very muddy, and 90% of the songs you cannot understand what Mick Jagger is singing at all. But that's the way that they intended it, because it's supposed to be more about it's like the dirty sound, like a raw, unfiltered sound. And of course, what kind of aided to that is this is the first album that was recorded using the Rolling Stones mobile recording studio. So I think they were still figuring out how to do it. Like they're the ones who made that thing, like where you can record anywhere. The recording equipment is just out of a van, and so their first attempt at using it, yeah, it's not going to sound as good, but like that kind of gives it its charm. Rocks Off kind of sounds like something that could have been on Sticky Fingers, but it has the more filthy sound for this album. Rip This Joint and Hip Shake are pretty good. Casino Boogie, that one's decent. My favorite song on the album is Tumbling Dice. I love the gospel influence on that song and the background singers. It's the big single from here, and they did so many takes of this song because they wanted to get it just perfect, and I think they nailed it. Sweet Virginia, it's like a Rolling Stones country song. That one's good. I like Torn and Frayed. Happy is a fun song. I don't know why the heck they named a song Turd on the Run, but we have a song called Turned on the Run. It exists. And then I'm with Nick, the back-to-back Ventilator Blues, and I Just Want to See His Face is really good. Shine a Light is a great song. That's their tribute to Brian Jones, who had passed away before the making of this album back in 1969, 1970. And I am again with Nick that should have been the closing song because of the subject matter. Soul Survivor is all right, but Shining Light should have been the closer. All right, now we got number 3. We've mentioned him before a lot, especially with the last album. This is the Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie. This is arguably his biggest well, this and Let's Dance are kind of his 2 biggest albums, because those are the ones with his most recognizable songs on them. This kind of the album that made David Bowie. He had come out with stuff before, but this is the one that, like, it got the public's attention because of his character that he had created, this alien rock star. He had all these elaborate costumes and stuff, elaborate stage shows. He was on Top of the Pops, dressed up as Ziggy Stardust, and that got people being like, well, like, I've never seen anything like that. I got to check this album out. And this album got so popular that people looked at his back catalog and people started buying those albums, especially the album Hunky Dory. That album was not very popular on release, but it got more popular after this album. People started listening to Life on Mars and Changes, Space Oddity, stuff like that from his earlier albums. But this is a concept album about an alien who becomes a rock star. Starts out with 5 years. Really awesome drum beat. I love that. Soul Love has a cool saxophone part on it. And then you have the classic song Starman. That song is an earworm. There's a starman waiting in the sky. And then that and the guitar break. Yeah, there's so many elements that make that song amazing. I don't think anybody talked about Moon Age Daydream yet.
I did.
I must have forgotten about that. Maybe my internet glitched out at that point. But Moon Age Daydream is awesome. I love the guitar solo at the end, played by Mick Ronson, where he's basically playing the parts of all the different weird alien creatures on his guitar. His guitar like sounds like aliens on that. Other great songs on here. We got the title track. You got Suffragette City. That song is amazing. Rock and Roll Suicide, the closer. Kind of a cool way to close out the album. And then you have the most underrated song on the album, I think, is Hang On to Yourself. It's like a proto-punk song. Like, punk hadn't even come out yet, and it sounds like a punk song. So yeah, that's gonna be my number 3. Number 2, fairly sure. Jason might have this somewhere on his list, but I'm fairly sure I'm the only one who's gonna have this high because I'm definitely the biggest fan of this artist. And that is another debut album from Steely Dan. Can't Buy a Thrill.
I was like, you have to have this on your list somewhere.
Yes. Some people probably were expecting me to put this as number 1, but no, it's number 2. I have another.
I thought it might be. Yeah.
I thought about putting it at number 1, but there was one I like better, which we'll get to in a moment. I'll give you a hint. Look at my shirt. But so Can't Buy a Thrill by Steely Dan. This is their first album, so they haven't found their sound yet. It's very different. They're an actual band. They're not a studio project at this point, so it's not just Donald Fagen and Walter Becker and them hiring a bunch of studio musicians and putting them into shape until they play to perfection. They have an actual band that they're playing with that includes Jeff. I talked about the Doobie Brothers earlier. It has Jeff Baxter, who would go on to join the Doobie Brothers after Steely Dan, the band, broke up. Yeah. And then, of course, Jeff Baxter, whenever the Doobie Brothers were looking for a new singer, was like, hey, there's this guy who I played with Steely Dan. Maybe you should audition him. And that was Michael McDonald. So we have a Steely Dan Doobie Brothers connection. But this one is a lot less jazz focused. Like, there's still amazing musicianship and still lots of stuff that's not normal for popular music, but it's definitely the most poppiest album that Steely Dan put out. You got Do It Again, which is awesome. I love the kind of Latin feel on that one. I love the guitar solo played by Denny Diaz, who was their guitar player at the time. The song is epic. You got Dirty Work, sung by there's a different singer on this album, David Palmer. It's the only album he sings on. But I think that the song really fits his voice well. That song is awesome. Of course, so catchy. I'm a fool to do your dirty work. Oh yeah, great. Midnight Cruiser, sung by the drummer. This is the one and only song that's sung by the drummer
It's
in
crazy.
Steely Dan's discography, but I love it too. It's another catchy song. Where did you come from, Midnight Cruiser? Where? Yeah, no, that was another great one. Only a Fool Would Say That. I love that song. That one is amazing. That's one of my favorite songs on the album. Just a chill vibe on that one. Only a fool would say that. Only a fool would say that. Yeah, great song. And then, of course, you have probably the biggest, most well known song from this album, Reeling in the Years. The guitar playing on that song is incredible. The harmonies. So after this, like, it's just Donald Fagen singing, so there's no harmonies on like any of their other albums. But here you got like Donald Fagen, the other guy, David Palmer, and Walter Becker, like doing this 3-part harmony thing in the chorus. It's so good. Oh, you're in the years. Really great. Yeah, love that. And then again, the guitar. I already talked about it once, but it's worth repeating. The guitar is just that good on this song. Fire in the Hole has this really just nasty piano solo on that. It just comes in swing with that. Yeah, the piano on Fire in the Hole is just woof, incredible. Change of the Guard, that's a fun song. I like that one. Brooklyn is the other song sung by Palmer. That's kind of a chill song. I like that one. And then Turn That Heartbeat Over Again. I talked about them earlier again, but that song kind of has a Doobie Brothers vibe to it. Yeah, that's my number 2. Can't Buy a Thrill by Steely Dan.
All right. I definitely see you guys have hit the prog rock, glam rock that I did not hit on my list.
It's not my number 1.
I feel like you guys, your list is way different than my list. Sometimes I look at it, I'm like, gosh, I pick more singer songwriters or something, and I didn't go
Thick
for
as
the
a
prog
Brick is
rock.
not on my list. The song that the album that's just one song that is not on my list.
My number 5 is the one song one album all 4 of us have on our list, and that is Honky Chateau by Elton John. Yeah, that's the one album. I think that's the only album all 4 of us have on our list. Interesting enough, we all agree that's a great Elton John album. I guess we're all Elton John fans, and I'm definitely with everybody. I think this is a great Elton John album. It's my second favorite one so far that I've heard. Yeah, some great. Of course, I love Elton John's voice, the piano playing, the singing, the songwriting is so good. Rocket Man, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's a top 10 Elton John song, if not top 5. The way it begins, and then that chorus, of course, uh, and then kind of some storytelling about being away from family and stuff like that, and how hard it is to be a rocket man. The only other version, maybe better, is William Shatner's version. I'm a rocket man. I mean, come on. No, I'm just kidding. Elton John definitely better, but uh, definitely fun to watch William Shatner sing the song. But yeah, that's obviously the huge song, the biggest song on the album, and one of my favorite. So that really helps the album. But they said Honky Cat kind of starts off the album. Real nice beat song to start the album. Um, yeah, I'm with you. Mona Lisa and the Mad Hatter is a great song. Kind of, I think. Is that the closer? Am I crazy? It's close to the end, anyways.
It's like the
But
second or
yeah,
third to last song.
yeah. It's like towards the end.
And closer is
Yeah.
a cat named Hercules.
Oh, okay. But yeah, that's a really nice kind of. I guess you call it a deep cut or whatever. It's funny. I've heard a lot. I've heard a couple people say that's their favorite Elton John song, and I was like, really, that one? And then I listened to the album. I go, yeah, that's a pretty good one. It's not one of my favorite, but it's like, yeah, I see why it's people like that a lot. And yeah, again, the other songs are great, like deep cut stuff. Like I really like Mellow. I think it's a really good song. And Salvation. I think Nick maybe mentioned. Someone mentioned another really good song off the album that it's not a big hit, but yeah, it's just fantastic. Singer songwriter pop album by Elton John. Absolutely love it. Number four, I got Harvest by Neil Young. Another Neil Young album. I really like this period of Neil Young. Neil Young is just to me like this, like 1969 to 1972 is like his best period, where 19. Well, I mean, going back to like Everybody Knows It's Nowhere is a really good album, and then you got Deja Vu, my favorite album, 1970. He joins Crosby, Stills and Nash, one of my favorite groups, makes this amazing album. And then he does After the Gold Rush, another album that made it into my top 10. And here we go. Harvest might be my favorite, though, out of his solo work. And it's definitely to me, his most acoustic guitar song. While um, Everybody Knows Is Nowhere definitely had some big rockers. He had these long songs with long guitar solos on that one. That was kind of his one where he really showed his guitar, soloing. After the Gold Rush, you do have, Southern Man, whatever, which is, man, what a rocker. That's maybe his hardest rock song. But Harvest, man, he got some of my favorite songs of his. Probably my favorite Neil Young song is Old Man. I absolutely love that song. Love the acoustic guitar playing and just love it. Tells kind of the story of, he sees, this old man and he tells him, old man, take a look at my life, your life. I'm a lot like you. And he kind of makes this parallel between him and this old man that even though we're different ages, we're this, got same wants and all this and, connection between. I don't know. I really like it, the lyrically and just that chorus is so good, and the acoustic guitar playing so great. And then Heart of Gold, that is such another. That's probably my definitely one of my top songs of Neil Young's, and maybe one of his most recognizable like big hits as well. And lyrically, I love it too. It's another just, and again, I love the acoustic guitar playing, the strumming on that one, but just he's looking for a woman with a heart of gold, aren't we all? And he says, I've searched everywhere. I've searched across the sea. I've searched, and I'm just looking for a woman with a heart of gold. I don't know. I love the overall thought of that. And sometimes I feel like I feel the same way. I feel like, gosh, I've tried to look for a woman with a heart of gold and I haven't found it, and I wish I could find a woman with a heart of gold. Anyway, so but yeah, one of his great hits. And then The Needle and the Damage Done, another absolutely amazing acoustic guitar song about drug use. I think it's about somebody who maybe died of drug overdose. And so, very personal song. His voice is so good. You really feel the emotion, the vulnerability in it. And great. Those are the three like big songs that are great. But the whole album, I absolutely love his overall, acoustic guitar playing is some of the best. He's one of the best acoustic guitar players I think of all time. Uh, and I love it. I wish he did more of it. It feels like he goes away from it after this for a long time and goes in other directions. So it's kind of the last really great album of his for me for a long time. All right, Scott, this is on my list. Number three, Can't Buy a Thrill by Steely Dan. You're right. It's not as high as yours, but it's close. And Scott bought me this actually, this
Good
vinyl.
to
So
see
thank you.
somebody else that likes this album a lot this year.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks for buying this for me, Scott. I really enjoyed it. This is their debut album, and this is like by far my favorite Steely Dan album. I think it's because it's more of their soft rock period or yacht rock period, and it's before they go into their jazz fusion period, which I'm not crazy about their jazz fusion period, whatever. But to me, album has their best harmonies, I think, on any album, and they're really good harmonies on some of this stuff. And it's just the best overall, like I said, kind of music that I really like. I wish they did more of this. I kind of I hate the fact that they went away from this style or something, and went to it. But I know a lot of people love their jazz fusion stuff. I'm just not into it. But this is a great debut album. Um, Reeling in the Years, my favorite Steely Dan song, and one of my favorite songs of all time. I absolutely love this song. The guitar playing is out of this world good. I mean, I think this might be my favorite like guitar song. Just about, and the guitar solos are so good. I love the tone of the guitar. It just sounds so cool. I love the way it sounds. I just love that the it's like hitting these big notes and then it's doing these really fast like
I think it said this was the greatest guitar solo of all time.
oh I think it's probably my favorite guitar solo of all time. It's just so good. I was listening to the song yesterday. I was like, I just love this guitar playing so much. And that's not the only thing that's great about this. The harmonies are so freaking good. Some of the best harmonies. When they do that, reeling in the years, no other song have they done that had that. I wish they had more songs like that because they can do harmonies if they wanted to. They showed it in this song. And the whole song though is great. Lyrically, it's funny. It's really kind of fast paced. The verses, and then it gets to that chorus. It's just that chorus is so good. Um, Dirty Work. That's my second favorite Steely Dan song. These are my two favorite See the dance song, and I love David Palmer's voice. Me and Nick are maybe alone on this, but we both said we prefer his voice over Donald Fagen, and we said I would take Donald Fagen out and just have David Palmer sing his stuff. But that's just our me and Nick's probably hot take on the whole thing.
Yeah.
But he has a wonderful voice. I hate that he only did this album, then he left the group because he's kind of like the second lead singer, but then they decided no, just we'll just have Donald Fagen sing everything, and so he got out of there. Man, his voice and the verses are so beautiful, but then that chorus, yeah, I do your dirty work no more. Love that chorus so much, and overall, just the musical, just a beautiful song. Love those two songs so much. Do It Again is all right. It's funny. It's not one of my favorite, though. It's probably maybe one of their biggest hits on here. Only Fools Say That. Love that song. And Midnight Cruiser, definitely the best, uh, best deep cut on here. The harmonies are magnificent. So great. Yeah, Can't Buy a Thrill by Steely Dan, number three. Glad to see me and Scott are about on the same page on that one. Number two, Nick is the only one that had this on his list, and that is Rocky Mountain High by John Denver. Of course, I had to have John Denver on here, and this is one of his biggest albums, if not
Of course.
the biggest. Yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah,
say
you knew I.
I don't want to say either of the albums are really that big though. I mean, maybe like albums that might be recommended, but it's a shame. Like none of his albums are like on like if you look at like top 100 or like that top 500 list, you wouldn't see either of their albums on there, which
Yeah,
it's very sad because they're very good albums.
yes, and of course, I said I love singer songwriters, love folk music, and John Denver's one of my favorite folk singers. And this is definitely one of his big albums. Definitely one of the albums you have to listen to, like along with Poems, Prayers, and Promises. I mean, these have the biggest hits of his. And then another album that's coming after this as well are my two favorite. But and Nick talked about Rocky Mountain High. Yeah, absolutely magnificent song. I love the acoustic guitar playing on that and Denver's voice. And yeah, it feels like if you want to know what Colorado feels like, it's like you listen to the song and I feel like I'm in Colorado. I love the Rocky Mountains. I'm a big fan of Rocky Mountains, and I live in Kansas, so I'm somewhat close to Colorado. It's still quite a bit of drive because I'm on the other side of Kansas, but man, I love the Rocky Mountains. Um, Prisoners, a great song. I love that. Goodbye Again, another top like 10 John Denver song. Some of the best lyrics I think he's ever written. About he doesn't want to leave his wife, but he has to because he has to go do concerts and stuff like that. And it's just a really kind of heartbreaking song about, wish I could be with you. I wish I could stay in your arms, but I have to go talk. He says, like, I have to go sing to strangers, you know, and but he loves it. He loves doing it. Anyways, I love that song so much. And then, as Nick said, the suite is so cool. The different seasons that ends the album. It's just this whole suite, just one song after another, going through the different seasons. Very unique. I never heard anything like it before, and it has a certain theme that kind of goes throughout the different seasons. I love it. I love the overall chorus that he hits throughout. That's like, oh, it's such a good chorus. Anyway, beautiful way to end the album. Very unique, and yeah, Rocky Mountain High, obviously one of my favorite John Denver songs. So albums, so it has to be pretty high on my list at number two. All right, so that leaves us one more album for each of us. But before we get to number one album, we'll also go through our honorable mentions, and if you want to have a dishonorable mention, you can talk about that too. So first, you go, Nick.
All right, so as for my honorable mentions, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, they are in honorable mention. They did not make the top 10. Another one is Trilogy, Mr. Laker Palmer. And the next one is Harvest. Another
Okay.
one, The World is a Ghetto by War. Can't Buy a Thrill is an honorable mention.
Ah, there you go.
Didn't quite make the other contenders. School's Out, honorable mention. Eagles self-titled. You Don't Mess Around with Jim. And sadly, this is the first time in their career they did not make the top 10 playoffs, and that is Carl and the Passions by the Beach
Yeah,
Boys.
Beach Boys didn't make
It's the
it.
first time the Beach Boys have not made my list in their 10 years of being.
What about Carl and the Passions Disc 2? That would be the best album of this year.
Yes, yeah, imagine.
You're
Just
right. They started in '62, so this is 10 years. Yeah, that's crazy.
10 years, they made it to
Yeah,
they were contenders for 10 years.
yeah.
They won like 2 or 3 years, I think. So I gotta say, really good band. Another one to whom it may concerned by the Bee Gees. Again, not quite, you know, the very best. Not quite there with the other contenders. And lastly, another one that I wanted to make in the playoffs, but everybody's in showbiz didn't make it. They got eliminated. As for the worst seed, the number one seed, the one that's getting the first overall pick, this album is straight up garbage. That is Edge Ban Yasi by Can. Just to show
Okay.
you what it looks like. It's literally a can of green. I don't even know what it is. It was like green beans, but
Oh yeah, green
But-
beans. Yeah,
Yeah.
this album sucks.
Did Bryer have this album?
I think it was my dishonorable mention for like 1971.
Oh, okay.
This was I looked up top albums of '72. This was apparently one of them. I listened to it. It was awful. It just it's so bad sounding. Like everything is just garbage about it. I hate every second of it. Yeah, overall, not a fun experience. And yeah, that'll be my dishonorable mention.
All right. So, going for my honorable mentions. So, I'll try to make it quick. So, first up, Alice Cooper, School's Out. Then we have America, Homecoming.
Oh, yeah.
And then Big Star, number one record.
Okay.
And Blue Oyster Cult with their first album is also an honorable
Okay.
mention. Budgie, their second album, Squawk. And another debut album with Captain Beyond, which is the band's formed by Rod Evans, the first singer of Deep Purple.
Hmm.
Then we get some jazz, Chick Corea, Return to Fantasy, Eagles with their debut album, Emerson, Lake and Palmer with Trilogy, Fanny Hill.
Yeah.
Shout out to our album exchange. Moon.
I did listen to that album recently, but yeah.
All right. And then Fleetwood Mac, Bare Trees. Frank Zappa, The Grand Wazoo, and then Gentle Giants. They released 2 albums this year with Three Friends and Octopus, another prog band. A band called Glass Harp, It Made Me Glad. Jackson Brown with his first album.
Mhm.
Jethro Tull, Thick as a Brick. I purposely put it there to throw people off. I don't know if that worked.
It's a little too pretentious to be in that top 10.
Yeah, but it was on purpose, so I can't really fault him for that. Anyway, Jim Croce, You Don't Go Mess Around with Jim. Joe Walsh, Barnstorm, early, like pre-Eagles Joe Walsh here. John Denver, Rocky Mountain High. Joni Mitchell, For the Roses. Linda Ronstadt with her self-titled album. Mott the Hoople, All the Young Dudes. Neil Young, Harvest. And then Nick Drake, Pink Moon, Paul Simon, second self-titled. Okay, and then Poco, Good Feeling to Know. Randy Newman, Sail Away. And here's an interesting one, REO Speedwagon with their second album, aptly titled REO 2. That's the first album with their probably the most well-known singer.
Okay.
Whenever they
Then
roll
he-
with the changes.
Yeah, before that. And then he would quit for about 3 albums and then come back in time for that
Okay.
era. Anyway, and REO Speedwagon has weird history. Anyway, REO and then Rod Stewart, Never a Dull Moment. Then you have the band Slade with their album Slade? Question mark. And then Steely Dan, Can't Buy a Thrill. Then I have the two Stevie Wonder albums with Music of My Mind and Talking Book. Allman Brothers Band, Eat a Peach. The Doobie Brothers, Slough Street. Edgar Winter Group, They Only Come Out at Night. Frankenstein. Anyway, Guess Who? Rockin'. Todd Rundgren. Something. Anything. This is him as a pop star before he would be a producer and other various stuff. Produced Bat Out of Hell later on. And then this is the other Uriah Heep album that came out this year, The Magician's Birthday. That came very close. That will probably be number 11. You have the band Warhorse with their second and final album, Red Sea. Jazz Fusion Band up next with Weather Report with their album I Sing the Body Electric. Wishbone Ash, Argus, the album
Darth
cover
Vader.
that inspired Darth Vader. Yeah. And then the last honorable mention I got is ZZ Top with their second album, Rio Grande Mud. And then now we get to the dishonorable mention. And if I didn't have this album, it would have got the dishonorable would have gone to Mardi Gras by CCR.
Oh,
But because I was able to get this album thanks to a viewer, shout out to Mickey. Yeah, this is by far the worst album I have from 1972. John Lennon,
Oh.
Sometime in New York
Oh.
City.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
this album was not good, and a lot of this aged really poorly.
Right there from track one.
Yeah,
It aged really bad.
yeah. I kind of get where he's trying to go with, but execution, yeah, not good. And then you have the live disc, which is just like whatever. I don't really care for much, but yeah, both John and Yoko were pretty bad here. Yeah, it's definitely the worst, one of the worst albums I have in my collection, honestly.
Oh, man.
But yeah, that's in the bottom.
I don't have a whole lot of honorable mentions. I have Talking Book by Stevie Wonder, Paul Simon by Paul Simon, Chicago 5 by Chicago, and Thick as a Brick by Jethro Tull.
Okay.
And I have not listened to that John Lennon album.
Oh, you haven't?
So my dishonorable mention goes
Good.
to the best album to listen to when you go to Jersey Mike's, Mardi Gras by Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Recommended.
Man, they had like 6 amazing albums, and they had to ruin it with that last one.
Yeah. All right. I have a couple honorable mentions. Paul Simon by Paul Simon. Toulouse Street by Doobie Brothers. No Secrets by Carly Simon. And For the Roses by Joni Mitchell. And yeah, Mardi Gras. Definitely got to take the cake. Though the John Lennon one, that's a good one too. I didn't think about that, but yeah, that's a bad one.
Haven't heard it, so I can't pick it.
That's probably
Water is one of the worst songs I've ever heard by Yoko Ono. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. But then Mardi Gras, you got Shut the Door or whatever. That oh my gosh.
Lock the door.
Lock the door. That's it. Lock the door. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. All right, so we are down to our number one favorite album of 1972. Takes off Nick.
Well, I mean, if you're a Who fan like we are, you'll know that the defending champions did not release an album this year, so it is
Yeah.
impossible for them to go back to back.
Yeah.
Crap. Oh, calf cramp. Oh, I stand on it.
Charlie horse.
Crap. Sorry.
Oh, those are the worst.
Oh, fuck.
What
I
happened?
need to stand on it.
Charlie horse.
Oh, fuck that.
Those are the worst, and they sneak up on you at the worst time.
I usually
Yeah.
get them in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get that in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Man.
One time I got it.
Crap
Whoa,
out of
whoa.
you.
I woke up to hats off to Roy Harper with that going on.
Oh! That sounds like torture. Having a Charlie horse crap with hats off to Roy Harper going on.
Yeah. So right now I'm just gonna stand right now to do this last album. So the last album, The Champion of 1972, Talking Book by Stevie Wonder.
I thought so.
Yeah, you're probably wondering. Yeah, there's 2 Stevie Wonder albums, and he hasn't talked about the other album yet. Well, this is that other album, and yeah, oh my god, what a great album this is. I think I could sit down now, but if you're asking me what my favorite classic period albums are, this is my second favorite. Of course, not to be basic or anything. My favorite still songs in the Key of Life, but this one is awesome. I freaking love this song, this album. Of course, the first song, "You Are the Sunshine of My Life." You can't get that. Never gets old. You are the sunshine of my life. That's why I'll always be around. It's not even Stevie Wonder who's singing the first line, which is interesting. I remember hearing that. I'm like this sounds different for Stevie. He doesn't sound like Stevie. And then then this woman sings, "You are the apple of my eye." I'm like, when do we get Stevie? Was that Stevie? And then we get Stevie. I feel like this is the beginning. Just this song won. I think it won a Grammy. At least one. I think 1 or 2 Grammys. So this song definitely deserves its praise. It's so good. Maybe Your Baby. This song is funky. We got funky. We're getting funky on our end. I love the funk on it. You got the guitar, like a shredding guitar. I love the groove on this one. Then we get to arguably one of my favorite Stevie Wonder songs. I'm not going to tell you my top 10 favorite Stevie Wonder songs. I did it on the Music Junkies, but I want to save it for my actual channel. Well, let's just say this made my top 10 favorite Stevie Wonder songs, You and I. It's one of the best love songs ever. It's beautiful. It's one of those songs where it's like no one talks about it. It's a song that you only know off the album. This should have. I wish Stevie Wonder would have released this as a single because I think the song is a very beautiful ballad. Really great stuff. And I can't get over it. Tuesday Heartbreak. That another kind of funky, little funk in it. Really great stuff. And then you got the last one side one, which is You've Got It Bad Girl. Ooh, You've Got It Bad Girl. It's my least favorite song on the album, but I really like it. See, one of the things why it's my second favorite Stevie Wonder album, I've been talking all of these great stuff about the first side. We haven't even gotten to the best part of the album yet. Side 2, one of the greatest sides ever. Like top 10, not even be top 5 my top 5 favorite side 2s of all time. You start off with Superstitious.
That's a big one.
On the wall. Like that's like a great way to start off the side. Got the drum. Oh, great stuff. And you got the bass. And then the horns. Oh, I love the sound of this song. This song is nasty. Not like in a bad way, but like in a kind of like this is nice. Always been another one of my favorite Stevie Wonder songs. Didn't make my top 10, sadly. I knew to the I knew Ryan was probably like, oh, he's
Yeah,
probably
Ryan.
because it's a big song. I'm like, quite the contrary. I love this song. And then it goes into Big Brother. It's a political song. And here's the thing. Here's my thoughts on artists doing politics. I don't mind when you do it, but make it catchy, make it good, make it
catchy.
Get in it. I hate when people like Taylor Swift or Pink Floyd, they just start ranting about politics. I'm like, don't. You're not doing it right. This is how you do politics in songs, pretty much like, hey, you only care about me during election time. I live in the ghetto. I love it. It's a great song. I know his political views. I'm not going to say whether I agree with them or not, but one thing I got to say is he does the song very, very well, regardless of what you believe. And it's a really catchy song. Another great groove into it. Then you got Blame It on the Sun. I love that song. Another great ballad. Blame It on the Sun. You got Looking for Another Pure Love. I love that song. Looking for another pure love. Oh, that song. And then you get the epic album closer with I Believe When I Fall in Love, It Will Be Forever. Oh, such a good song. I believe when I fall in love with you, it will be forever. Oh, love this song. I love all of these songs, really. It's such a great Stevie Wonder album. But yeah, I love this album. I mean, it's one of those albums where it's like, wow. Like, this is like not even his best album. And like for a lot of other artists, this would be like the peak of their career. Even Music in My Mind, I feel like for some artists, that would be like the peak. Like some artists wish they had an album as big as Music of My Mind. And that's not even like one of like his best, not even like considered to be like one of the, like probably the weakest, considered to be the weakest of the classic period. So it just amazes me how much, like I said this in the group chat when I was listening to your discography. One of the things I got to say about Stevie Wonder, when he's on, he's on. He's on like he's on a different planet when he's in the groove. It's really, people don't talk about. I mean, people talk about these albums, but not to the extent that it should. Especially this album, Inner Visions and Songs of the Key of Life. I think they get the love they deserve.
Yeah,
but I think the album a little bit underrated in my opinion. I think this is I'm not gonna say it's like criminally underrated because this I think this went platinum. I think this album. So to say it's underrated, I'm not gonna say it's underrated because it's not underrated. It got the sales. It sold well. It got its.
Pretty sure this got Grammy Album of the Year too.
It got Grammy Album of the Year, so I'm not gonna say it's underrated, but I'm not.
The next two albums win Album of the Year. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not
gonna say. Simon says, "I'd like to thank Stevie Wonder most of all for not releasing an album this year.
For not putting out an album.
Stevie Wonder won 3 times in a row.
So I'm not gonna say it's like criminally underrated, but comparing it to some of his other albums, it's a tiny bit underrated in my opinion. But yeah, that's just me though. All right, yeah, that's in my opinion, my favorite album of 1972. Will Stevie Wonder go back to back next year? We'll find out.
Yeah. So you would say John Lennon's not the way to do political songs, right?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go on a little rant. John Lennon. Here's the thing. It's not catchy. It's not like it doesn't grab my attention like Big Brother does. Like, for example, when he sings about how women are the hard R.
Women are, yeah.
I'm like, first off, why does it sound like you're saying the hard R like as if you're saying it on a daily basis? That's the first thing. You sound like you say it a lot, like
so casually.
It's problematic.
It sounds like he says it on a regular basis. Like it's like if it's one thing if he's singing it like oh yeah, I shouldn't be singing this, but I want to drive the point home. But the way he's singing it's almost like he says it on a regular basis. That's the first problem. Two, it gets preachy at times. Like, I don't want to hear you preach about your politics. Like, Stevie Wonder does it on one song. That's it. He doesn't go on a whole, like, tirade. It doesn't, like, do, like, a whole album of stuff of, how, I don't know. I'm going
Shut
on a
up
rant.
and think about the strawberry fields, John.
Yeah,
Or even Imagine's a little political, but it's
it's
good
political,
stuff.
but it's
That
not
one,
like
that
too
one's
much.
actually catchy.
That's
It's not,
catchy.
and it's not too much though. He doesn't make
Yeah,
it
yeah,
the album
Yeah.
like
I
Stevie
like
Wonder.
give me some truth is another good example.
yeah, yeah,
That's a
yeah,
great
yeah.
song. That's
So
a
he
great
can
song.
do it. He just not on that album.
Just not on that
The
album.
problem is, I said this before. Like the reason his albums, it gets worse and worse with the politics. Like the first album, you get a little bit of it, but it's not bad at all. I don't mind it. The second album, you start getting a little much of it. Like I don't want to be a soldier mama. I'm like, okay, you're starting to push your luck, John. And then that album, okay, you're like going way overboard now. You're like way over the line now. Yeah, that's my mini rant though. But
Okay.
yeah, Stevie, you did it right. John Lennon, don't ever. You did a horrible
Don't
job.
ever do that again. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, he definitely can't now.
but yeah,
Oh, that got dark.
Well, he changes course with the next album, I think. But yeah.
he does.
Oh,
He does
yeah.
another
Walls
political.
and Bridges, is that the next one?
Mind Games. He does
Oh,
another
Mind
political song on Mind Games, but it's not like it's still not as nowhere near as
Not
crazy.
as yeah.
It's not as crazy, so I don't mind it.
Okay. Sorry, Bryer. Your number one is next.
All right. So, what? Again, I've mentioned a bunch of stuff. What have I not mentioned yet?
I don't know. There's so many albums I thought were going to be number one. It's not your number one, so
I
I'm
have
confused.
no idea what is
Well,
number one.
I will say this is one that Scott brought up a while ago,
Okay.
and this album cover is my favorite color too.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I'm
Yes,
not the
yes.
only one who has that.
He's not the only one.
Yes. Again, I did Jethro Tull there just to throw people off. But yeah, I'm like Scott. This is also not my favorite. I still prefer Relayer, but this is like a very close second. And it's one of those albums where when it comes to progressive rock, what are the benchmark albums you have to check out? Yeah, it has to be this one because it is pretty much has all the hallmarks of the genre. And again, the compositions on all three tracks are just masterfully done. Very symphonic, again, very bombastic at times, but still very beautiful when it needs to be. It's the archetype of what you would consider a progressive rock album. And this was one of the albums that got me into the genre. This helped me get into Yes, one of the albums that helped me get into the band. I mean, the first song and another one of the classic like sidelong epic tracks. We already mentioned, some of us mentioned Supper's Ready earlier, but Close to the Edge is another example of that, with all the different sections and all the different instrumentation on here. It's just amazing, well done. Again, it's one of my favorite like sidelong epics, of course. But the other two songs on the second side, they're also extremely strong with You and I. I think that's probably one of the most gorgeous pieces of music. It's up there in terms of stuff I've heard. Just the acoustic guitar playing on that one from Steve Howe and the keyboard playing from Rick Wakeman and John Anderson's angelic vocals. Just really, it's basically euphoric. If I guess that's what the vibe they were trying to go for. And then the last song, Siberian Khatru, which is definitely the most rocking sort of song, definitely the most straightforward rocking. But man, Chris Squire, I mean, he's one of my favorite bass players of all time, and just his bass is just so upfront in the mix, and especially on Siberian Khatru, where it's just so funky, you're just kind of grooving with it, and it's absolutely a fun song with, again, a lot of different passages throughout that one. But yeah, again, it's second place when it comes to Yes for me, but man, it is very close. Definitely one of my favorite progressive rock albums in general, and like I said, definitely a must listen if you're going to get into the genre. But that's going to be number one, Close to the Edge from Yes.
All right. Another prog rock.
Don't expect Yes to be on my list next year.
Yeah, no.
As that album is the epitome of pretentious. Topographic Oceans or whatever.
It's supposed to be Topographic Oceans. Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
Scott, I'm not sure what your number one is because I thought it was going to be either Can't Buy Thrill or Ziggy Stardust. So I was wrong.
Well, if you pay attention to
I
my
know.
shirt, my sunglasses, I gave it away right from the beginning. It's Deep Purple, Machine Head.
Machine Head. I didn't realize you were that big a fan. Okay.
Well, yeah, I've always liked the album. I had what's the name of that album? In Rock, pretty high up on my 1970 list. But last time I listened to this album, which was for a review on Nick's channel, I was like, "This is one of the greatest albums I've ever heard.
Okay.
It's epic." John Lord is an awesome keyboard player, kind of a jazzier influence. Richie Blackmore's guitar is epic, and then yeah, you've got Ian Gillan, who's one of the greatest lead vocalists of all time. Amazing. Lots of classic songs on this one as well. My favorite song on the album is the first track, Highway Star. That song is out of this world. The vocals are poof, insane. I love the screaming vocals on there. I love the guitar solo too, kind of like a classically inspired guitar solo there in the middle. Um, Maybe I'm a Leo is actually my least favorite song on the album, but it's still really great. Pictures of Home is awesome. I love the bass solo on that. I remember listening to that and just being like, "There's a bass solo on this song? That's epic." Um, and then you get Without. Is the name of the song Without You?
Never before.
Never Before. Wow. I forgot the name of the song. Never Before. I was about to talk about how underrated that song is, but I forgot the name of it. But that song is really good. Kind of a more just traditional rock song, not as long. I think they even put that one out as a single, but it didn't get too far. Probably should have done better than it did because I think that one's really cool. Yes, Nick is 100% right about side two. Side two is just epic. You start out with Smoke on the Water, which is one of the coolest guitar riffs ever. Bow, bow, bow,
Oh,
bow,
yeah.
bow,
That's
bow,
recognizable.
bow, 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 bow. I love the way the song just builds. And you start with it's just the guitar, and then the organ is like doubling the guitar at the beginning, and then the drums come in with the and the bass comes in do 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 do. Like it's just playing eighth notes on the root there, but like the way that the song just builds, and then you get into the vocals with you just wow came down to Mothra and Lake Geneva shoreline. And he's just like, oh, he's killing the vocals on that. The guitar solo is epic as well on this song. Man, I mean, whenever you get to that end of that guitar solo where he's just holding that bend out with that, you're just like, oh man, it's so good. And the story behind the song is really interesting as well, based on an actual event that happened, which is kind of freaky. Somebody with a flare gun was at a concert and burnt down a whole casino just because they shot a flare gun at the concert. And then you get Lazy, which is one of the coolest songs on the album. It's the most blues inspired, probably the jammiest song on the album. They kind of wander off a little bit, but it's I have not listened to that live album. I probably should. I would probably like that. I do like jam sessions, but the thing I like about this album is the jams never really overstay their welcome. They jam just enough and keep your attention just enough to get back into when Ian Gillan is going to just like totally rock out on his vocals. And then, yeah, the last song, Space Truckin', that probably has the highest notes that Ian Gillan sings on the album. It's like borderline just shouting out the vocals there at the end. That song is awesome as well. That's why it's my number one, just because, A, the musicianship is top notch. I talked a little bit about Yes being kind of like a classical symphony with rock music, but there's some classical influences on this album as well. Just because this album is a lot more digestible than Yes. Yes is definitely a great art piece, but I think what makes the Deep Purple album my favorite this year is that it kind of has a good combination of artistic vision and commercial accessibility, which is why it's my number one for this year.
All right. I thought Machine Head was gonna be number one for Bryer. I just got the wrong person.
I wore the deep purple colored shirt. And
yeah. All right. Well, my number one is not Machine Head or Close to the Edge or
it's
Talking
Take a
Book.
Walk on the Wild Side, isn't it?
Right. So all four have different number ones yet again, going back to tradition for the four of us. Last year we were on, or I say last year, last year that we did, we were all in Unity, but we're back to not being in Unity anymore. But you know my number one probably, and that is "You Don't Mess Around with Jim" by Jim Croce, which I'm glad Scott mentioned that as well. So uh, I'm not the only one that. And we talked about it. We all like this album, of course. We all talked about it already on I think Nick's channel, and I gave it a 10 out of 10. One of my favorite uh, folk albums of all time. Jim Croce, one of my favorite folk singers of all time. Crazy, he only did like three major albums before he died in a plane wreck, and some of these came out posthumously, like after he died. Stuff came out, but even in a short period of time, he came out with some of the best music. I mean, enough to make a really greatest hits. It kind of almost reminds me of like Buddy Holly. It's like it feels like they're here just for such a short time period, yet such a big impact. Or you put Jimi Hendrix in there as well, maybe. Um, but yeah, this has some of my favorite music from him, including my favorite song is "Time in the Bottle." I think is one of the most beautiful songs ever written, one of the best love songs ever written. Love that acoustic guitar at the beginning. Um, did you say something, Nick? I couldn't hear you.
So I was just singing to the song. By the
Okay,
time the bottle
I was like, "Are
is
you on mute?" Because I couldn't hear
no, I was muted. I was singing to the song. That's what
you.
I song so much.
But yeah, just a beautiful song. But I wish I had time. I could put time in a bottle so I can spend all my time with you. I mean, oh, so beautiful. And I love his voice. It's so it says such a nice sounding voice. And yeah, Q's guitar playing is just top notch here, especially at the beginning. That dun, 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 that the high uh, picking that he does. Um, and it becomes kind of his song after he dies. They put it out again because it kind of it's a little bit about reminiscing. You know, like sometimes time. You know, we all know. Uh, time goes by so fast, it gets away from you. You go, where did the time go? And that's the song has a little bit of that, like, man, where did the time go? So it was such a great song to put out again after he died, and it became the number one hit because of the, and it came out because the fans kind of demanded that it came out as a single. It went number one. But anyways, yeah, Love Time Bottle, one of my favorite all time favorite songs. And that's not all. You got Operator. Operator is one of the great songs that he does. I love Operator. Again, acoustic guitar playing's top notch. Uh, Operator, some this call. Great chorus, of course. And I love and we talked about this, but I just love the whole kind of storytelling of his girl left him, went with his best friend, and he wants the operator to connect the call, but then as he talks about it, and then he says, nah, forget it, I don't really need to talk to her after all. And there must be something in my eye because he's crying and he's acting like I'm okay, everything's okay, but not everything's not okay. Anyways, love Operator. Photographs and Memories, as Scott mentioned, I absolutely love that song. Um, these are all like top five songs for me for him, all on one album. And just the looking at photographs and talking about the memories of the photographs. It's so beautiful lyrically. The guitar playing so good. New York's Not My Home, another top 10 for me. I absolutely love that. Talking about because he's from Philadelphia. He lived in New York for a short period of time, and he wrote the song about not liking being in New York, which is interesting because we got Nick here, who's kind of got connections to both New York and Pennsylvania, anyway. So,
The
uh,
great state of Pennsylvania.
but New York's not my home. Yeah, another just beautiful song. Just love his storytelling. Love his how he writes, how he sings, guitar playing. Everything is just one of my all-time favorite folk albums. So that's why it hits number one here on my list. So it goes to Jim Croce. All right, so that's our top 10 albums. Very different list. The only one that hit all four was Honky Chateau, like I said. Um, though some albums did make your three list, but didn't make mine, so I'm kind of the odd man out on a lot of these like Exile on Main Street, like Machine Head, and like Foxtrot. I believe all three of you had those on your list. And then three of us had Volume 4, Nick, Bryer, and myself. So those are the albums that we most agreed on, it seems like, on our list. Besides that, we hit all kinds of stuff: prog rock, glam rock, folk music, yacht rock, hard rock, all kinds of music on it, which is great. We want to cover all the bases here with the four of us and get a variety of stuff to. Definitely, I like doing this. I always hope, like, if someone's listening to this, hopefully you agree or you don't know the albums and you are interested in listening to them. And I love discovering new music, so I always hope people discover new music by hearing our list, and stuff like that. That's my hope anyway. So another great year. You guys would agree, another great year.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
great year.
We would say this is another positive year of music in 1972. Like, I almost want to do like a thumbs up or a green arrow, and we'd all give it a green arrow.
1972 gets
I don't
one
have a
thumb.
green arrow, but I have a green album.
There you go. I don't have this. This is kind of green.
Yeah, there you go. That works.
Got a little green in there. But yeah, so great list. Thanks for joining me, Nick, Bryer, and Scott. Enjoyed doing that again, and look forward to 1973. What we got coming forward, anyway. So for all of us, thank you to anybody watching this. No one commented during the video, so hopefully someone's watching this and enjoyed it. And thanks to anybody that does, and recommend any albums that you like. I would love to hear anybody else's recommendations. And I might check out Demons and Wizards. That's the one album I want to check out from the list.
Honestly, I don't think you'll care for it.
You said if you want to get into it, that's okay.
Yeah, but it's more heavy music.
He liked Volume 4.
Yeah, but there's no ballad on it.
Very true. All right. So thank you so much. And well, I'll see you guys later and hope you guys have a good rest of the evening.